Delays over the last few weeks that would have thwarted the appointment of former Cabinet Minister Peter Bunting to the Senate has come to an end. The Senate met on Friday and they swore in Peter Bunting into the upper house as a senator. President of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finson, was very welcoming of the new Senate member. He recalled their collaboration as members of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica 7 years ago, while Bunting served as General Secretary of the People's National Party. According to Finson, I am sure that the application that he demonstrated there will serve well for the rigorous legislative agenda that we face in this Senate in 2021. However, Bunting has stated that it is his mandate to demand a review of the Jamaican Constitution and to address issues like the detention of citizens under the state of emergency and the use of the state of emergencies as a crime-fighting tool. He further went on to mention that the government has not appealed the recent decision of the Supreme Court against a certain detention, which meant that the ruling has remained unchallenged. I raise this case to highlight not only a collective failure on our part as legislators to recognize the defects in the law, but also a failure of repeatedly voting to extend the state of emergencies when the situation did not qualify as such. The oath of allegiance is to uphold and defend the Constitution, not to use it as the expedient goal of an executive. Former leader of opposition business, Senator Donna Scott Motley, whom Bunting has replaced, has said that she noted that while Bunting had the ability to attract some level of controversy, he had distinguished himself as a 4-term member of the House of Representatives. She further went on to state that she is sure that he will continue to make the sort of contribution which had made him noticed in the Jamaican public and political landscape. Further to what was stated, Bunting also was named as the new leader of opposition business and the opposition spokesperson on national security. The opposition People's National Party finally has its full complement of senators in the upper house, as Peter Bunting was sworn in on Friday as their 8th member of the Senate. Friday's Senate had on its agenda that all of the necessary requirements were met for the swearing-in ceremony. Bunting should have been sworn in 2 Fridays ago, but the event which delayed his swearing-in ceremony was in relation to issues with Norman Horne, who was originally chosen as one of the 8 senators named by former leader of the opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips. Horne had initially resisted resigning to make way for Bunting and had written to King's House declaring his decision not to take up the post recently. This followed his exposure in the media that he was still a U.S. citizen. Bunting, who was named as his replacement, will also take over from Donna Scott Motley as leader of opposition business and also will be responsible for national security. For the past 2 weeks, there was an argument between Horne and the People's National Party. The former treasurer had informed the Governor-General that he would not take up his seat as opposition senator, as a result of it being publicly disclosed that persons with dual citizenship, with the exception of Commonwealth citizens, are barred from being appointed to the legislature based on provisions in the Jamaican Constitution. After being installed as opposition leader, Mark Golding recommended the appointment of his colleague and friend, Peter Bunting. And of course, Bunting, who is a former cabinet minister, lost his Manchester Central seat in the last parliamentary elections on September 3rd. And on his debut, Peter Bunting attempted to shake up the Senate. And of course, he took on Kamina Johnson-Smith in relation to a matter surrounding Andrew Holness's administration, in which they say that they will be challenging the Supreme Court's ruling that the detention of 5 men under the state of emergency was unconstitutional. On speaking about the Senate issue, Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith revealed that the government had taken steps to appeal the court's decision. Her comments came under debate under the Dangerous Substance Act of 2020 and the Evidence Amendment Act of 2020. Debate was later suspended to be continued and concluded in January 2021. In a brief comment on the issue, State Minister of National Security Matthew Samuda revealed that the government had filed an appeal on October 29th. Johnson Smith disclosed the challenge after newly installed leader of opposition business Peter Bunting referenced Justice Bertram Morrison's ruling in the controversial issue. She rose on a point of order, urging Bunting not to comment on the matter, which she said was sub judice and as such should not be debated. Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is also the leader of government business, noted that under the standing orders, it was not appropriate to discuss this matter in the Senate. She further stated that while she understands Bunting's interest in the matter, his desire to discuss it and the fact that the matter is before the court should stop him from actually mentioning the situation. Acting Senate President Charles Sinclair responded to the point of order. Senator Bunting, my ruling is that you tread cautiously in respect to the comments that you make. If I see that you are going to cross the line, I will stop you. The new opposition Senate leader said he was only reciting the findings of the Supreme Court ruling, which was already public knowledge. He stated that repeating the judgment could not in any way prejudice the government's appeal. The court also found that the situation which led to the detention of the detained men did not qualify as an emergency, nor did it satisfy the situation described in Section 20, subsections 2 and 5 of the Constitution. Morris's ruling in September was that the detention of Douglas, Heath, Hall, Thompson, and Noble were unconstitutional. The men had been detained for extended periods in at least 3 parishes. Morrison's declaration was that the men's constitutional rights and the Constitution itself had been violated by what was described as executive detention. Bunting, who had earlier taken the oath of allegiance to become the 8th opposition senator, reminded lawmakers of their solemn promise to uphold and defend the Constitution of Jamaica, noting that the pledge was obligatory. He said that he had commented on the case to highlight a collective failure on their part as legislators to recognize the defects in the law, but also a failure in repeating the voting to extend the state of emergencies when the situation did not qualify for same. When the state of emergency had been presented in the lower house for debate during the previous session of Parliament, Bunting, a former member of Parliament, had insisted that the measure was unconstitutional and therefore voted against it, while remaining closed on the matter during the so-called Senate saga involving the former People's National Party treasurer Norman Horne. Bunting referenced the issue while commenting on the need for constitutional reform. He also said that certain constitutional office holders and indeed investigative journalists had to take this issue seriously to enable the Senate to be fully constituted. He argued that the need for constitutional review was quite impatient of a debate. A 3-term legislator in the lower house, Bunting said that the experience he gained over the period would be utilized in the upper house. He also acknowledged the work of Donna Scott Motley's immediate predecessor as leader of opposition business for her constructive leadership in the Senate. He further stated that he intends to rely on her experience to assist him to master the intricacies of the upper house. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about Bunting's first day as a senator and his attempt to shake up the government in regards to constitutional reform and his demand for them to answer to the court's ruling in regards to them using the states of emergencies in an unconstitutional manner. And also, he further went on to acknowledge the work of Donna Scott Motley, which is quite kind of him. And also, he did mention, whilst dancing around the topic of Norman Horne having been able to thwart his swearing-in ceremony some weeks ago, he's calling for constitutional reform, and that is his plan for this year. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.